Now that I have that up to the level that I want it to be, I'm going to put one more round of fertilizer in here. There we go. Kind of scratch that in a little bit. This is, again, all organic fertilizer, polytone, as well as some bone meal and some blood meal. Hey y'all, welcome to my Fig Sticks. This is Danny. Today we're going to do a little Tuesday fig bit, if you will. You're probably seeing behind me thinking, what in the world has he got going on? Well, real quickly, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to up pot a couple of my figs. Now, it's not the best time to be up potting anything in East Texas. It's 10:30 in the morning and it's already 90-something degrees. But these figs are in smaller black pots and they're drying out too quickly. I haven't put them on drip yet because my plan is to get them in their more permanent home before I do so. These two guys here are going to be up potted today. These are two Texas EverBearing. I actually took cuttings off of my OG, my original fig tree. It was a Texas EverBearing bought here locally, and I do believe it was labeled correctly. But both of these are in these smaller black pots, and while they've been great for the rooting and such, I can't keep up with watering them. As you can see, they're already drooping. I just watered yesterday. They're already drooping this morning. So I'm going to get them put in their more permanent homes. Being these fig pots that I build, I call them fig pots. They're planters, but I'm going to show you how I get them in there. Again, not the most optimal time, but you can see this is how I've got most of my figs already potted up. And I have them all on drip irrigation running twice a day for, I think, 30 minutes right now because of this heat. But I'm going to show you all what I use for a mix. I use locally sourced garden mix and a locally sourced potting mix. And then I add perlite to taste. Now, what I typically do is on these fig pots, I'm going with, this is a 1 cubic foot bag. I go with a little bit more than a cubic foot. And then the garden mix here, this is a 2 cubic foot bag, but I cut that in half. So I'm only using half of that. So I'm a little more, I'm probably 60-40 potting mix to garden mix. And then I always add perlite to taste. I don't measure this. I just kind of have a feel for it, I guess, and get it the way I like it. But I'm going to get that mixed up real fast, and then we'll get these figs in a pot before my phone or myself overheats. So hopefully y'all can see this, but this is the first one. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I finished this whole video up only to figure out my microphone had died or overheated or something. And so take two on this one. But y'all can see here what I've got. I have filled the bottom of this pot with soil. I packed it down really well. I know that I'm going to have some settling involved. So I went ahead and packed that down as good as I could. I also wet the bottom down, watered it in really, really well. And as you can see, I now have my my fig tree at the level that I'm really hoping for right here. So I'm going to, also took the time while my microphone was charging to run my irrigation on both of these, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So hopefully this guy pulls out of here. Yeah, it's going to. He's so weird, oddly shaped. He's kind of hard to get a hold of. There we go. Now, one thing I do want to mention is, especially this time of year, I know we kind of talked about this is not the best time of year to be potting up a fig tree, but we do not, I repeat, do not want to disturb these roots this time of year. Fig trees don't like to have their roots disturbed. So be very, very careful with that. I'm going to spin this guy around. Should have looked at that in the beginning. He's got kind of a bare spot right there to go towards the fence. Perfect. Some of these branches are going to come off anyway, but I think that's got him where I want him. The next thing, I do have a, this guy out of the way, I do have a organic fertilizer here. Now I did mix this up. Yes, it is holly tone, but it also has bone meal and blood meal mixed in. I use this with everything as I'm up potting, whether it be figs, whether it be vegetables in the garden. I just want to sprinkle a little bit in, and I'm going to do that the rest of the way up as I go, as well as I'm adding soil around the plant. Now, one thing I want to show you, as you're pouring this in, I'm not real careful with it in the beginning. I just want to get it in there, but make sure you pack it down really well. Just like what I did with the bottom, I want to pack this down around the plant as best I can. I want to go ahead and get as much of the settling done before it settles too much in this pot. So try to remember that, and then again, I'll add some fertilizer as I go. Now that I have that up to the level that I want it to be, I'm going to put one more round of fertilizer in here. There we go. Kind of scratch that in a little bit. This is, again, all organic fertilizer, holly tone, as well as some bone meal and some blood meal. But I got that the way I want it. Now, I will try, when I do this, not to bury too deep. I don't know if that's a good thing. Y'all, I feel like I'm never going to get this video done. It's just so hot. But real quickly, yeah, I was saying that it's one thing about this channel. It's going to be for real, whether it be overheating phones, overheating microphones, or whatever. But real quickly, I try not to bury the base. I don't know if that's good or bad. Maybe it would root, I don't know. But that's just something I do. Now, I will come back and mulch this after I watch the irrigation run a few times. I do want to show you real quick how I did the irrigation. What you can see, I have irrigation line running all behind all of my pots. I've tapped into that irrigation line. I run that up to a little valve right here, just in case, so I can adjust the flow if needed. And then I drill a hole in my fig pot. I run that line out, and then what I'll do is I'll take my drip tubing, and this has emitters every 6 inches, and then I just wrap that around and I'll pin it down, similar to what I did to the first one earlier. Let's get this out of your way. So you can see I've got that pinned down nice and neat. My irrigation is running twice a day, about 30 minutes a day. So I'm going to go ahead and get that stapled down, and that will wrap up the up potting of these 2 figs, and they're in there almost forever home. All right, y'all, that's going to wrap it up today. I'm going to get out of this heat. I may even jump in the swimming pool. It's so hot out here. I just looked at my AccuRide and it's reading 108 heat index. If you made it this far along in this video, I know it's probably hard to follow with all of the technical difficulties with the heat and the phone and the microphone. But if you made it this far, I really hope this helped you understand what we can do with figs in pots and how we can do that. Again, summertime heat, probably not the best time to be trying to up pot, but I'm gonna keep y'all posted on how these do. I'm gonna get them watered in, get them mulched after I watch the irrigation a few times. But I really appreciate you watching, everybody. Hey, join the Figolution. That's real. The Figolution, I'm starting it now. Join the Figolution, get you a fig, get started. I promise it's addictive. Y'all, fig math is real. Thanks for watching. All right, guys, don't let me down. Sorry to do this to you in the heat, but I'll take care of you. I'll keep you watered. Hang in there, little guys.